Punisher One Last Kill came out in May and was the perfect special to show more of Frank Castle's brutality when killing in a blind rage. The majority of this special is just one really long fight scene with a bunch of cool moves and techniques throughout it. And essentially, I'd consider this scene on the level of, or even better than, the prison fight scene I covered in the last Punisher video. In that video, I declared 3 pillars: brutality, efficiency, and rage, that get Frank to barrel through and win every single fight. This special keeps that going, but also goes a little further and changes things up a little. Anyway, this scene starts with the Punisher hearing a bunch of noises outside of his apartment, where all these people are coming to kill him. This is because there's a bounty on his head from the mother of the last family he killed, who were related to the death of his own family. This dude pours a flammable substance on the door and lights it, setting Frank on fire on the other side. Frank gathers his bearings, starts to get angry, then runs through the door with his feet on fire. The first thing he does is he kills this guy on the floor. Then he jumps up while screaming, roaring, falling on this guy. It breaks the stairs, and he stabs this dude in the neck. This guy's coming at him with a machete, and he parries it and punches him straight in the nose, then front kicks this dude. He blocks this machete swing to stab up through his arm. Brutal and efficient, and with rage. Those hit all 3 pillars of my last Punisher video. Then he stabs him in the chest, heads over this way where this guy swings at him, but all Frank has to do is elbow him to knock him down. This guy's manhandling this lady, where Frank grabs him by the hair, which is a bit of a classic. He's done this before. He yanks his neck back, then stabs straight through his neck. Frank starts whispering sweet nothings into this guy's ear, and then gets hit in the back with a metal baseball bat. Takes another hit to the arm, then another to the ribs. In my Old Boy video, I mentioned that a metal bat to the ribs would break them completely. That's kind of the point I was making in the first Punisher video too. This swing on him, he just tanks the bat, and that totally would break his ribs. But he just keeps going just because he's so angry. He has so much rage, so much endurance to just barrel through and keep going no matter what. This is the rage pillar of the first Punisher video. He's able to get control of the bat and get a few licks back on this dude. Swings him at the wall, and then kicks out his leg and trips him over. Classic judo move, Osotogari. The use of the bat and arm over his neck is for the off-balancing, the Kazushi, which gives Frank an opening to put maximum strength, reap the leg out from under him, and take him down. Then he gives him one last good lick with the bat. Then this guy comes in with an axe. Now with an axe, it can get really, really dangerous. So the best course of action here is to get distance, like far away, and the second best would be to get really close. And there is no third best after that, because the other place is the worst place to be in, medium range. I spoke about this in the Punisher video. The axe is just gonna hit you. So Frank goes with the first option, sort of. He dodges it, and actually ends up landing on this dude that he just killed, ironically enough. And then Frank comes down with the baseball bat so hard and knocks this dude's face into the back of his own axe, killing him, which is pretty miraculous. Then there's a shot, the sound of a shotgun, where this guy is blown across the doorway. I wonder what he did to deserve that. He's not even Frank. Frank throws his bat at him and just completely misses. Frank grabs the guy he killed earlier as a shield for the shotgun blast, which is, you know, exactly what he should be doing. Besides getting the F out of D, using someone else as a shield to protect yourself is great strategy. As the guy's cocking his gun, what Frank does is he gets the gun offline aside of him by pushing it down, and it's not exactly clear what he does to disarm the shotgun, but what would work is rotating it out of this dude's grip, which would continue it off the line of sight on Frank. Essentially, you'd rotate it out where grip is the weakest. If Frank were to decide to do this motion, what could work here is he could hit the guy's arm, and if he hit it hard enough, it would break off of grip on the shotgun because it's still where grip is the weakest. Regardless, Frank gets it out, then elbows it. He then blows 5 dudes to Kingdom Come, and he grabs this guy's shotgun right here and does something actually extremely smart. He puts the shotgun under his elbow, then wraps that guy's own shotgun over his head, then brings his arm down to lock himself tightly around this dude's neck, and then uses this guy's elbow to cock the shotgun and kill other people. Super cool, super smart, but the mechanism for it in real life, there's a couple of issues I have. If this guy would have let go of his gun, Frank no longer would have had leverage around this dude's entire body and neck. All this guy has to do is just let go of his own shotgun, and then boom. And also, cocking at the elbow, I just don't feel like he has enough grip, power, or leverage on the shotgun for this to actually work. But honestly, taking out the realism aspect, that's just a super cool little sequence right there. Then this guy comes in with some bomb that he's already lit, and Frank shotguns him. Frank very calmly kicks it away, and then covers the door with his bookcase. I like how Frank does that, where he's just kind of like, he's very calm with it. He's been around death so much, he's experienced so many near-death experiences that now there's absolutely zero panic associated with it at all. A quick kick, move the bookcase. I mean, clearly you can see the wick of the dynamite still has some time to burn down, but it's a bomb, and he's still just super chill about it. And that comes from his training and experience in the military. It goes back to the philosophy of slow is smooth, smooth is fast. The idea that controlled, unhurried movement under pressure produces faster, more reliable results than rushing. So he's moving slow so he can make sure he smoothly protects himself, and therefore he actually did it very efficiently. So it blows up, and Frank goes outside on the patio of this apartment, and he just sees absolute chaos chaos going on. This neighborhood looks like the worst place to live in. Worse than Gotham. There's just people beating on an old dude with a cane, and this guy's falling off a roof. It's just awful. If you go watch this special, you'll see throughout the entire thing, you'll be thinking, where the heck does this dude live? It's just constant crime and chaos. Anyway, Frank sees this old dude getting beat down. He's trying to shoot his attacker, shoots this guy, and then jumps down. I absolutely love this character because every single time he's doing something, just something, he roars in the funniest way possible. It's absolutely hilarious. He's jumping down and he's like, this guy grabs his gun and Frank knees him in the arm to push it off, and then shoots him in the foot. Then he wraps his left arm under his arm and then around him and uses him as a shield against the incoming people. Very similar to what he just did earlier with the shotgun, wrapping his arm around the neck essentially and using them as a shield. Basically a vehicle for him to shoot without getting shot. And it works because he gets shot at a couple times, and now that he's used up, Frank throws him off the side. Another guy runs at him and he does the exact same thing. Don't be near the Punisher and a patio at the same time. Frank keeps picking off people. He sees a guy to his right and he swaps his hands on the gun to shoot this guy. It's pretty clear why he does this. It's so he can stay as covered as possible behind the brick wall and still be able to shoot. This is just part of his military training. This lady is screaming and he snipes this dude in the face with an AK-47. He's running along here and he roars and drops this guy. He's in the hallway and then he has to kill 3 different dudes. This guy comes at him and he headbutts him. Then knocks the guy's grip off of his gun and then just shoots him once in the chest and once in the face. That's his military experience. And this is a quicker take on the Mozambique drill, where you're supposed to double tap in the torso and then assess before shooting someone in the head. Frank just does 1 tap to the chest and 1 tap to the head. All it does is make things a little bit quicker, is it doesn't stop or slow down the opponent as much as 2 shots in the chest would. He shoots this guy up here, he falls down, and then his gun actually clicks. So he has to grab a pistol and then shoot him in the head. Oh my gosh. Someone down the stairwell yells, "We're coming for you, Frank!" And what he does is he grabs a fire extinguisher, throws it, and shoots him mid-air and basically cause an explosion and smoke bomb. And that deals with everyone down there. Frank gets out on the rooftop, searches and realizes, hey, I'm good. He breaks the handle on the door so he doesn't have to deal with people coming back up. He looks around, checks his magazine, and then he hears a bunch of people clamoring at the door, and then they bust through, and he just picks them off. Then people from another door also bust through, which he also now has to take care of. So now he's gonna be getting totally surrounded. He runs out of bullets and has to use his pistol. He's grazed by a bullet in the arm, shoots this dude, and then realizes he's out again. So now there's nothing left for him to do except for hand-to-hand combat with 2 empty guns. Starts with a little bit of shaky cam, but he's using the guns that are empty as weapons. So he whips this guy, then hits this guy in the chest with the AK-47 and does this sweet spin move into this dude's face, basically clotheslining him. And you can see how he's actually about to be surrounded. So he starts by blocking this axe and swinging it out and then doming this dude in the side with the AK-47. This is honestly a lot like the first fight scene in Extraction, where he has an AK-47, people are coming at him with machetes and axes, and this exact move that he does, I'm pretty sure Tyler Rake does. This sort of just gun fu tactics that Frank has to use as a kind of close quarters combat with no bullets. He's using gun fu, and now he has to use these guns as melee weapons, which is clearly starting to breed a different level of creativity in this action scene. Then he domes this dude so hard it breaks off a piece of the gun. He grabs a gun from someone he just killed and it runs out immediately. And I like this aerial shot they have here. It's like it's with a drone or something, and it gives good perspective on what this fight scene is looking like for Frank whenever he's about to get surrounded. This guy hits Frank in the shoulder with a metal pipe, and then Frank catches it, giving him a great left hook, and then comes at him with an elbow on the rebound, then hits the inside of this dude's knee. I talked about this a lot in the first Punisher video. Military techniques are known for their efficient styles, and the only goal in mind is surviving and neutralizing your threat as quickly as possible. And so going for the knee here, for some reason this guy stays standing, but that's going to knock someone down, and it's going to hurt a lot. It's going to cause structural damage to their knee, and then they can't stand up or walk. You just have to think about it in terms of theory. How do I neutralize my threat? Okay, well, for them to stop chasing me, I need to eliminate their knees. Really, 1 knee is all it takes. This guy gets Punisher in the leg, kicks him back, and then Punisher domes him in the freaking nose with the pipe he had taken from this dude before. So he started this fight off with a knife, and then he basically just uses his weapon until he can't anymore, or he drops it, and then he takes someone else's weapon. It's very similar to the Equalizer. Equalizer shows up with no weapon at all on him, and he just uses his opponent's weapon, and then he wins. Why bring a weapon I can use theirs? This guy comes out with a pistol, and Frank immediately closes the distance, headbutt, and then picks his back leg up while off-balancing his upper body, Kazushi, and absolutely takes him down. He hasn't disarmed the gun yet, but look at how the gun points. It kind of points at his face there. This guy totally could have pulled the trigger. It would have been the end of the Punisher forever. Whatever. Anyway, we just cut to him having the gun disarmed because I guess they didn't really feel like showing him doing that. He whips out a real Mozambique drill this time. Anyway, then this guy slams into him really hard. And this is the most cinematic, beautiful, amazing scene of 2026. Mid-air, he's able to shoot this guy in the head, and then Frank falls onto this HVAC crate very luckily. Now, I'm not going to mention how terrible the CGI looks here. I'm not going to mention how it looks like a video game cutscene, and he flails around too much, and the super odd camera shake, it doesn't look good at all. I'm not going to mention that, but I will mention something I was talking about earlier with the bomb. He gets thrown off the roof, and he's able to still be smooth about it and kill this guy. He never panics, ever. He's never afraid for his life. He survives very well, obviously, but he's not afraid of death, and therefore, him being thrown off this roof, he has no fear of how he's going to land or anything. He stays on the mission of killing the people trying to kill him. He rolls off the HVAC, looks down to see these two looking at him. This lady is the one that organized this massive bounty on him. This door opens, and Frank has to kill another dude, and then these guys run in, and he's like, oh, for goodness sake. Or really, he's like, oh, for goodness sake. Let me tell you something. And instead of fighting them, he just decides to jump off the roof again and roar as he falls. He lands on a scaffolding, and then the worst homeboy of all time throws his buddy off the ledge to go after Frank. And as he's falling, Frank's like, oh man, are you serious? He literally looks like he's saying shucks. Oh, shucks.
Man, I'll tell you what.
I'm not sure why they decided to script him to start running away instead of fighting. Maybe just for some variation, but clearly he's proved time and time again that he can handle two people at once. Multiple people. One person at once. So why does he decide to roll off the fire escape onto a bus into a very, very painful landing is beyond me, but whatever. Frank gets up and sees them start to wheel away. Then these guys see Frank and go after him. He's like fed up. His face is so fed up with what he has to go do. He's shifted away from the rage. He's no longer fighting anger and so much brutality. He's just fighting because he has to. So this is where his rage pillar kind of starts to drop a little bit, but don't worry, it's coming back. He dodges and starts with a liver shot to the body, a front kick to this dude, then tanks the bat, then dinks him in the face with the bat. And as the guy whips out a knife, he just puts the bat across his face, then winds up the bat to basically uppercut this dude's face. So efficient, so quick, perfect. Then here's the turning point. I love this part so much because we're seeing the absolute pinnacle of chaos going on. This guy just comes by and breaks a glass on him for no reason whatsoever. This is the worst situation of all time. This looks like the worst street ever. Everyone's just fighting and killing each other. Frank tries to go for the old lady, but then he hears a kid yelling for her dad, and he's flipping out because her dad, this guy, is getting absolutely manhandled outside of his donut shop. This lady's looking at him, and Frank decides to leave her and just turn, and this is where the rage comes back. You see, a second ago, he lost his rage. He wasn't super mad anymore. He was just like, just fed up, done with it. But now, his anger and vengeance is back. This is my favorite part of the Punisher as a character. When this kind of injustice is being done, especially when it comes to kids, he gets so angry and sees nothing but red, and it kind of scratches that itch for a lot of people when they watch the Punisher, because he will be as brutal and unbelievable as possible just because of the vengeance that's in his heart. He starts to roar. This dude comes out with an axe, but he gets shot by a dude on a motorbike, which Frank hits with his baseball bat. Picks up the gun, checks the mag, military instincts, then kills every single dude beating on this old guy. Goes in the donut shop and kills every single dude in there. Runs out of bullets. This guy swings on him, which he just very smoothly leans back from, stops the rebound, and puts the gun in his nose 3 times. Stabs him with his own crowbar. Again, just taking someone's weapon that they're using on him and turning it back on him. Then he controls him and puts him in the donut case, wraps the crowbar around his neck, and drags him through it. Picks up this coffee pot and basically backfists it into this dude's face. Smushes this guy in between the donut shelves, then stabs the sharp glass part from the coffee pot into the back of this dude's neck, pinning him down. It's so smart how he uses other people's weapons and improvised weapons to just keep going, keep ravaging. He brings the arm around and holds it there, checking left and right before putting his knee into the elbow, breaking it. And I know this dude felt that. So why did he decide to check around first? I think the main reason, there's not any tactical massive advantage in breaking this dude's arm here. He's already been stabbed, he's already down. Typically, I'd assume the Punisher would just kill him. This is a little uncharacteristic, but he's so angry. There's a little girl crying out for her dad. He's got so much vengeance and rage that it's just like the prison fight scene. He's just being as brutal as possible, because at times, people dying is not enough for him, causing much more pain, much more torture, more anguish. That's what really scratches that itch for him. We're gonna see that a lot in a second. Then he disarms the guy and slices through his neck. You know, definitely opens up the carotid artery there. And then everything goes silent and he just leaks out and dies. Watching that one felt a little bit extra dark. Instead of a brutal, insane death, he just slowly dies. It was almost more sinister, I guess. Punisher's looking over at the little girl and this lady who are terrified. He's walking over there like, it's okay, you're safe now. And then the most unhinged current inmate of probably the most dangerous prison that exists ever barbarically runs at Frank and stabs him in the chest. I mean, this dude is tatted up. This is the funniest thing I could have seen in this moment. Then this dude elbowing him a bunch, then he starts choking Frank out, and Frank pulls the classic, I'm being choked out and my arms are free and I'm looking for anything to stab this guy with. He grabs a blue pen pen and stabs this dude up into the rib. And he's feeling it. You can tell he's like, dang it, you got me good. And Frank grabs the collar this guy stole from his own dog to yank him down and continue stabbing him across the whole torso with the pen. This is literally improvised weapons from Jason Bourne.
Improvised weapons.
I think it's the exact same pen too. He uses it to stab all over his opponent, and that's what Frank does here, except a little bit worse. And what Frank does is stab him into his arm. Now, slicing the limb there will make someone lose their grip and strengthen their arm. It slices through tendons and ligaments, so it basically makes your limb kind of pointless. But stabbing in it like this, you could possibly miss the key parts of the arm. So what he does is he just keeps stabbing into the arm to effectively make sure he gets the parts that he's really trying to. But Frank just keeps jamming it in everywhere, and I think he stabs him at least over 20 times. It goes through this dude's hand at one point. Then Frank starts getting him in the throat, and then stabs around his face, into his cheek, and then he just keeps going. This is where he's literally seeing red. He kind of growls at him. He's an animal, because every single time there's a situation where he has to protect a kid, he sees his own family, you know? In that situation, he couldn't save his family, but maybe he can save others. So that's like the closest thing he feels when it comes to a situation like this. So he's so angry that he just goes as bananas as possible. Just absolute savagery. He could have killed this guy immediately, and this totally obliterates my efficiency filler, but I don't even care, because this scene is so awesome anyway, and it really upholds the brutal pillar. It takes it to a whole nother level. Sometimes brutality and efficiency go hand in hand. Sometimes they're just opposite, because here, he lets this guy live for a long time just to make him feel that much more pain, that much more torture. Stab, 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 before finally killing him. And even then, he delivers some of the killing stabs into the throat, and he puts the pen into his cheek, keeps going a little bit before putting it back in the throat. He's forcing this dude to pay for ever trying anything on the Punisher and trying to hurt this little girl ever in his entire life. Anyway, they're crying. They're like, ah, dude, this is terrifying. He's like, oh man, they just witnessed me do that. He realizes what's sticking out of his chest, and he's like, oh crap. And he actually takes it out like an idiot. And it's actually super duper long. It's the flathead that got stabbed into his chest from inmate 32. But the reason he's an idiot is because you do not want to take out a stab wound like that. I don't know why he takes it out here. The reason you don't want to do that is because, yeah, it's stabbed into you and it's damaging organs potentially. But if you take it out, then you start bleeding out of the wound, and then you die way quicker because you bleed out. So leaving the weapon in often plugs it, which stops it from gushing blood out, which is what it would be if you were to take it out. Then something hits his leg. What was that? Then he realizes it's the kid. Thank you for saving my life. You know, whoever taught this kid stranger danger, like, I understand going up and running tug like Superman or something, but did you see what this dude just did? Did you see what I just did? Yeah.
No.
I do not care if he's protecting you. You gotta stay away. It's a sweet moment though, I guess. Yeah, you're welcome. The kid gives him a flower and he's like, all right, see ya. And that's it. That's that super long, crazy fight scene wrapped up. So yeah, for sure, Frank is still brutal as flip. But in terms of efficiency, you know, in the beginning, he was actually extremely efficient. One shot dead, one stab, whatever, die immediately. But then as it went on, you know, we had that little interlude where he wasn't super angry. Therefore, he was just mainly efficient, not even that brutal. But then once the kid's life was in danger, it was like, scrap the efficiency pillar. I'm gonna be as brutal, as angry, and as terrifyingly disgusting as possible. But yeah, this is a dope special. It's not like there was a huge amount of story to it. It was really just, you know, an excuse to show a bunch of action. But it was awesome. I really liked it. So thanks everyone on the last Punisher video for suggesting this one. And yeah, if you have any movie requests, go ahead and pop them in the Google form down below. I look at it every single day. And subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. There's gonna be so many more bangers coming. So yeah, great special, great long fight scene. New video soon. Peace.